When the New York City subways were built, they were primarily designed to bring people into and out of Manhattan. The subway connected densely populated Manhattan to the outer boroughs, which helped fuel their growth within the newly consolidated New York City. When the subway opened, Manhattan's population was bigger than Brooklyn and Queens combined. Today, Brooklyn and Queens residents outnumber Manhattanites 3-1. Manhattan is still the center of New York City, but the incredible growth of Brooklyn and Queens, as well as the Bronx and Staten Island, means that travel within the city often doesn't involve Manhattan. Take traveling from Brooklyn to Queens. Unless you live near the G train or can connect to it, if you want to take the subway, you typically need to detour through Manhattan. That adds extra time to your trip and more crowding on trains in the busiest part of the system. There has to be a better way, and there is. The Interborough Express is an idea for a new 14-mile transit service between Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, and Jackson Heights, Queens. The IBX would bring passenger service back to the Bay Ridge branch, an underused freight rail corridor that is only used by a few freight trains per day. This line hasn't carried passenger trains since 1924. The Interborough Express would connect 20 neighborhoods with up to 17 subway lines and the Long Island Railroad, providing a fast, direct, and affordable connection between Queens and Brooklyn. End-to-end trip times on IBX would take between 39 and 45 minutes. A subway trip that takes almost an hour today could take only 20 minutes on the IBX, or a route that requires 4 different subways could instead take just 30 minutes with no transfers. And neighborhoods far from the subway altogether would have new connections to all of New York City. Over 900,000 people live within a half mile of the IBX route, and some of the fastest growing neighborhoods in the city. Most commuting trips in these neighborhoods don't start or end in Manhattan, but within Brooklyn and Queens. The MTA studied a number of different possible modes of transportation for the IBX and found that 3 were feasible: conventional rail, light rail transit, and bus rapid transit. Conventional rail would feature 2 dedicated passenger rail tracks running alongside the existing freight line. Train cars would be similar to those used on Long Island Railroad and Metro North, but with more doors for faster boarding and more standing room, like you'd find on subway cars. Conventional rail would run below street level at subway-like frequencies. Its average runtime would be about 45 minutes end to end, and it would serve a projected 85,000 weekday riders. Light rail transit would use a 2-track line running either above or alongside the existing freight tracks. Smaller than subway cars, light rail uses trams that can operate on dedicated tracks and the street. Light rail has the highest projected ridership of the 3 options at about 88,000 per weekday and would have the shortest runtime at 39 minutes. Bus rapid transit uses buses on a dedicated bus-only road, separate from traffic except at crossings, that would run alongside or above freight rail lines. Bus rapid transit has the lowest projected ridership at about 74,000 people per weekday and would have a lower passenger capacity than other options, but it would be the most flexible, allowing other bus routes to use parts of the corridor. All 3 options feature electric vehicles and modern technology to make them cleaner, quieter, and less disruptive, and all 3 options would contribute to job, recreational, and economic growth to the surrounding communities. So what's next? The MTA is still in the early phases of the project and is beginning the environmental review process. If the MTA moves forward with IBX, station locations will need to be identified. After that, the plan will undergo further design and then construction. But we can't do this without you. We'll need your feedback throughout the process. What do you think about the IBX? You can let us know in the comments or keep in touch by visiting the IBX website.